VP and Vici Gaming.
Vici Gaming versus Virtus.pro. Game 3.
Welcome back to the draft panel. I'm Frankie Ward. I am joined by Dota 2 obsessive Effie, who somehow manages to fit 14 games of Dota in a day, even when she's working on TI, and pro on hiatus, Insania. Insania, what did you describe that last draft as? This draft is like 100 to 1 going to beat Virtus.pros.
So I was talking to Kyle last night, and he said, you know, if you are going to do predictions on the panel, it makes the rest of us look really bad if you're right all the time. So please try to get it wrong every once in a while. So I was just doing him a favor.
Sure, and he paid you handsomely, right?
What a nice guy.
Okay, so the Elder Titan pick is coming through. Does this give you any idea of what we're going to be expecting from this draft, FP, or is it too early to really know?
It's a bit too early to know, but this hero has been the most successful support from the group stages, really. And he's just overall strong in a lot of ways. He has vision control, area control, strong in lane, and provides team fight. So if you can pick it up in your first phase, it's worthwhile.
Yeah, I think last game I saw some things that I thought were a little bit worrying if we're going to take it into the serious stuff. I think Vici Gaming's execution did not look on point. So I would prefer to see them stay away from the Drow Ranger. I think that's a hero that you kind of have to know how to play around as a team and you need to know how to make it work. And I didn't really feel like they did. And based on these two openers, they seem to still believe in their Snapfire. I think it's a strong hero, and so is the Monkey King. But I think picking these two straight away, you notice that VP feel very comfortable snatching up the Storm, because they notice there's no real hard lockdown. There's no threat of the Lion. There's none of these like Rastas or anything coming out. So I think GPK is quite happy with this matchup.
GPK was absolutely instrumental on Puck in the last game, and now he's got Storm Spirit. That slipped through the net, and this is a hero that he played 6 times in the group stage.
So GPK Storm is quite famous actually because he's excellent on the hero, but sometimes you don't know what you're in for because it can be really 50-50 for him. But no, this is a really good Storm game for a couple of reasons, which is there aren't really any instant stuns. Yes, there is the Monkey King stun, but it's not the best one, and the Snapfire cookie is dodgeable. And if you have your Monkey King in the first phase, you already see the support. You see that this is a support duo. If this is going to transition to a core Monkey King, they can easily counterpick it, right? So this Storm coming out at that point, it just makes it so simple. This backline is very easy to jump, and Storm is one of the better heroes at killing Monkey King, I would say.
Yeah, plus you have this natural synergy with the Elder Titan Spirit, where he's going to scout heroes out, and then Natural Order is going to provide magic damage amplification by reducing all the heroes' magic armor to 0. So you have Storm Spirit that's going to have bonus damage, and he's going to have vision of the hero he wants to jump. And we talked about this on a different panel, but the strength of Storm Spectre, because you see all the targets that you want to go on, and you're going to have a pretty similar thing going on with the ET Storm here.
That's a very good point.
Tell me, how much damage can a cookie do? What is a cookie?
Well, a cookie is a very delicious dessert. You can dip it in milk, and sometimes you don't need milk. And
Snapfire bakes them.
Depending on your calorie intake, it can do a lot of damage, but otherwise it's pretty delicious.
But Snapfire, so Snapfire gives out a cookie to one of the team members?
So yeah, you use it on one of your allies, and it kind of functions like a force staff. You'll jump forward a little bit, and there's even a talent, I believe, that gives you some health. But it deals around 200 damage and stuns you for like 2.5 seconds, something like that. So it's a bit of a longer stun than your average stun, but it is also a little bit trickier to hit.
And is that the reason that we're seeing Snapfire being picked so much? It feels like almost every game that I've been able to watch here, Snapfire has been a pick.
I wouldn't say so, because while Snapfire used to be played on Cookie when it was absolutely broken, it's not the most reliable stun. It's a nice save, and it's a nice kind of extra utility to have in your kit. But as TI has developed throughout the groups, the meta has been teamfight meta, right? So the re-emergence of supports like Snapfire become really popular and things like that, because she does have a very strong laning phase. She produces 2 kinds of damage, physical and magical, and she has a teamfight ulti. It's something that really fits into the way teams have been playing.
I think also LGD, the way that they've been using Snapfire is you buy that shard at 20 minutes and you buy a blink, and suddenly you have an instant stun. You have the blink Scatterblast, I believe it's called, and then you can follow it up with a cookie. So you have a pretty reliable 3-second stun there once we reach 20 minutes into the game and the shard is available for Snapfire. This is also a really, really good lane. We've seen the synergy between the little shredder and the gush. You get a lot of minus armor, and then the anchor smash hits like a truck.
Old 11 picked Tidehunter 7 times in the group stage. We sort of touched on this in the first game draft, how Vici and VP, they hadn't really flexed away from their comfort picks during the group stage. And now it seems like the comfort picks are kind of being allowed by both teams in a way.
Yeah, I think VP are trying to cover their Storm pick, and that's why they banned the Queen of Pains primarily for the laning phase, and then the Puck for the issues we saw in the last game, right? You get coiled, you die. And Storm can run into that same issue. So they felt the need to ban those out. And then I think this Tidehunter is something that we saw even all the way back at TI8 as an answer to Elder Titan, or TI9 maybe. But basically the idea is when the Elder Titan uses a Spirit and he's going to run at you during the laning phase, you just gush him, remove all of his armor, and then you just fight him with your heroes. So instead of running away.
Agreed. And if you'll notice, Vici covered this Tidehunter ban in advance just by banning out things like Ursa and Medusa so he can have a better lane. Because the way that Tidehunter functions as a hero is while he is defensive, he kind of does lead these pushes. He functions as sort of a shield for his team to play behind. And Ravage is a teamfight spell. If you add it with Mortimer's Kisses, you can instantly burst one of these targets. The only issue is, my problem with high cooldown drafts is that it just feels very dependent on having a decent start. If you fall behind in the beginning and you're playing on high cooldowns, you put yourself in a bad position on the map.
Especially, I guess, as VP do like to play fast and furious, so Vici potentially early game, they might struggle.
I wouldn't say so, because their lanes are not weak.
Yeah, I think, VP are looking to put the pressure on in the laning phase. If you look at the heroes they've picked, like you have both Elder Titan and Bane, both considered to be rather strong laners. I think the idea here of picking up a new position 5 hero is to move your Elder Titan away from the Snapfire Tidehunter matchup. You don't want to lane into those two heroes and put it on the opposite end. So we might see VP save play it here. And I think they actually might regret this Bane pick, because I think, especially when it comes to Eastern Europe, when I see Tidehunter, I almost instantly think Disruptor. It's a hero that like the region is really known for playing. And I know it's one of Ilia's stronger heroes. And I would have liked to see it here. I think it made a lot of sense with the Luna. It's really strong against Tidehunter in the game. And I think not having a set answer for Tide might be something they regret.
Well, in the groups, they played the Bane and Storm Spirit combo 3 times, and it has a 100% win rate. But that's information for Vici. They've seen this before.
But it's also because they had an IO as well when they did run it like that, and the IO plus Storm combination was the more potent one, right? But they did run the Bane as their favorite support.
And Vici have just banned IO as, I think, the first ban every single game so far.
This is going to be the most contested hero just between these two teams in particular, because they're both IO teams, so there's no way they'll let the other person get it. I just want to comment really quickly on this Terrorblade pick, because Terrorblade is traditionally an excellent carry, especially versus Luna, because if you use Reflection, you just get a Luna illusion hitting her team. So I'm a bit surprised that it was let through.
You also have the same factor that we had talked about in the last game, where how the Drow outranges the Medusa, which might make it problematic for Medusa to fight. Terrorblade has a very similar situation with Luna, where you have more attack range, so you can stay back, plus you have your illusions to tank the Eclipse. So it's hard for Luna to get on top of you, but what we saw during the any majors, a lot of Luna started buying the Shard, building it to Daedalus, and then using the Shard Lucent Beam to deal damage.
Agreed. That build has been nerfed slightly, but it can still be very strong. I like that Vici learned a little bit from their last game, because when Drow was put in a position where she was playing from behind, when Puck started to become very strong, it's not really a hero with a built-in comeback mechanism, right? It just really depends on your positioning and if you're able to stand somewhere in a fight. Whereas Terrorblade, if he's put in a position where he's playing from behind, he can send his illusions out and just push out lanes, which provides a lot more for his team.
So, what is VP missing? What do they need as their final pick?
I think unlike the last game, they have quite a lot of options here. I think if you look at VP's draft at the moment, it's fairly well-rounded. They have Storm and Bane for some sort of like map pressure initiation type situation. You have the Luna ET for team fight, and it's basically going to come down to what is JPK like here, what direction do they want to take their draft in. It's going to be a fairly defining pick. Whatever they decide to do here is going to, in some ways, set up how they enable the Luna, or if they're going to try to go for the double core win condition. I think they have a lot of options.
Yeah, and I suppose while Terrorblade is a concern for Luna, he is playing against ET. So ET's natural order removes base armor, and Terrorblade, who's an incredibly high agility hero, has a lot of base armor. So typically he's been a counter in the past. But it does seem like he has protection in the Tidehunter. I would like for Vici to get something that goes in first.
Currently, Insania, which draft do you feel most confident about? Because you're on hiatus from your pro career, so it's okay. You're allowed to make mistakes.
Ex-professional player Insania.
Yeah, I mean, I think they have advantages. It's like depending on I feel like a lot of these games are coming down to execution a lot and how well you're able to utilize your timings in the game. I think the thing that VP has going for them is, like we said, the Elder Titan aura together as an answer to the Terrorblade, but the problem is how do you get past the Tidehunters? So can Save get to Aghanims in time and get a shard to enable him to just stomp his way on top of the Terrorblade? If he's able to do it, I think VP has an edge, but I think Vici are very capable of fighting back.
There are many Dota newcomers, I think, who are really excited to see Underlord in the game because he's a very newcomer-friendly pick. So
There's no one as excited as you about that.
I was really happy about Dark Willow in the last game, and I'm especially happy about Pity McPitface making the draft for Virtus.pro. So I'm going to be completely biased now.
Is that his name?
I call him Pity McPitface because he creates the pit.
I can kind of see it.
I mean, I'm not saying he's got acne. I'm just saying he used to be called Pit, right?
Pit
Yes.
Lord.
Yeah, Pit Lord. Exactly. Hit him at Pitface.
Yeah. Strong
Anyway,
Bear against illusions.
Back to the draft.
Yeah.
Speaking of Underlord, he should be able to deal with Terrorblade's illusions fine, and Pit of Malice is a nice spell, particularly versus something like Monkey King that can't jump to trees if it gets rooted. So there's something nice there. He also excels in defending towers early, which is something that VP lacked. So he does take that box.
I was just going to say, I think it's also a very, very good hero against the spirits. And when you mentioned that, VG wants a hero that goes in front, and that's exactly what they were looking for, the type of hero where you find initiation, and Ember fills that role. I think Ember Spirit at this event has looked to me like one of the best heroes in the game if it's able to play the game and doesn't fall too far behind. And the Underlord kind of covers it preemptively, because when you see the Remnant fly through, you can put the pit down, and then Ember has a really hard time playing the game.
All right, then, let's see what BSJ has to say in his last word before we get into the final game of this series.
Thank you, Frankie. As both these teams have a similar recipe going into Game 3, they have a mobile spirit mid-hero, they have a hard carry that consumes the map, and they have off-laners that stand in front and set their team up for successful fights. Now, the key here is since Terrorblade and Luna can farm so many creeps, it comes down to the early game towers, which will open up the map for either side. Until that Underlord pick, VP had absolutely no way to defend their towers. So it's going to rest heavily on DM to be that wall to defend his towers, because the Luna as well as the Storm are not going to be able to do so in the super early game. So which carry is going to have more space to farm? Which carry is going to have better matchup? Terrorblade against the Luna individually, or the ET to make the Terrorblade lose his armor and the Underlord to make him lose his damage? Only one way to find out with OD Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Brian. Yes, the deciding Game 3 now between Virtus.pro and Vici Gaming. As Brian was touching upon there, a lot of sort of sweet sort of counter picks here from both sides. Who, in your opinion, has come out on top of this one, though, Fogg?
Well, actually, I'm not too sure. I really like both drafts. I think they both have their positives and negatives. I would say Vici is a lot more cooldown dependent, so if VP is able to play at their usual pace, especially with the way that they played last game, I can see them pulling a little bit ahead faster. However, if the pace of the game starts to get too slowed down, that's where I can see Vici start coming back, because they have a very farm-heavy team. So we'll see how that ends up going.
All right, let's find out. But I think we can indeed hope for quite a lot of action this time round. I think my eyes are definitely going to be on the GPK Storm. He was on quite a performance last game on his puck. Storm, very much another hero that the man has performed on big time in the past. Overall, they're definitely a little concerned for VP because of that Luna into the TB.
Sure.
As was mentioned by the panel, something that in the past has been kind of just a difficult game to play. You have this TB that could take advantage of quite a bit of the hero's own benefits.
Absolutely. Look at this level 1 smoke. VP, they found a target.
All right, here we go. Set up. And let's see if they have the damage. Oh, they certainly do. Or maybe they don't.
Oh my.
Right. They act with the 5 of them there. They can't actually get the kill. Just a little bit of a cookie, and he's back off to safety. No first blood to be had here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, okay. Gets a couple stick charges, right? I think that might have been even, he got, like 3-4 stick charges when he popped and cooked it. I cannot believe he lived.
They didn't kill
Alrighty.
him. All right, PYW. Avoiding death there.
It's always like, also, people might look and be like, why didn't Kingslayer skill stomp? You can't do these type of things.
Sure.
Just to secure a first blood, you can't cripple your lanes. So, has to go for the Spirit, and we'll see them still... Will they still get the 3 runes? No, they'll get the 2-for-2 exchange. Doesn't mean Old 11 won't take a beating. So, The thing about this lane also, though, is a lot of times I've seen these Lunas picked versus Tidehunter when you have another range hero that can benefit from that Lunar Blessing, but you have ET, so this could potentially become a pretty difficult also for Old 11, just because of that ramp-up damage that comes out from the two of them, from that aura as well as the Spirit.
Absolutely.
And it's a change-up, too. It's DY is playing Monkey King in the off lane with Old 11, and PYW is kind of playing, like, I guess, like the 5 snap a little bit more, which we really rarely see Vici switch up their roles like that.
Yeah.
Maybe we still will see the Snapfire get more of that farm, and they just wanted to have these lanes set up.
Sure.
But yeah, it's still a switch up. It's something I don't see too often.
Why go for this setup? Because I'm seeing this, right, and you are now having 2 melees play into the ET. I mean, do you feel that because you are a Monkey King, you are a hero that can trade back with the melee?
I think they just wanted something that could help Poyoyo more inside of the laning phase. Okay. I'm not sure. It's a really interesting approach because we also have, the ET is played as a 5 and the Bane is played as a 4. So both teams kind of changing things from the norm.
Yeah. Oh, very interesting to see it. We'll see how it pays off.
And we'll see how this mid lane goes, because I know we've seen it multiple times now, the Storm versus Ember. Look at that, GPK,
I mean, look
5
at that.
and nice, holy moly.
Ooh, he's still on fire from last game, GPK, just coming into the first couple of waves. Top
Save.
lane, save.
Forced to sleep to push away. But yeah, I mean, bottom is a double melee lane.
I don't think it's
Not
easy.
into just ET, but into Luna as well. Luna thrives versus these double melee heroes.
Yeah.
Side pulls available too. I think they're going to get a side pull off as well.
That's 3 range creeps, right?
I believe so. That is quite disastrous. I mean, DY is trying so hard to get the aggro back.
He's going to get at least one of them back over.
Should actually get them all over, so good job from DY to secure at least not losing 3 creeps of experience potentially for his Tide.
Crisis averted, only just there. That would have been rather nasty for Old 11 to miss out on that much this early on.
VP's lane's looking super high. Hey, mid is 13-7 to 2-0. What the?
That Vici, they've not got a mid. What's happening?
Ori's getting destroyed.
Oh dear.
I know it's a Storm-favored matchup, but not like this. 13-8 to 4-0. Like you said, GPK must still be on a bit of power from that last game.
Oh my goodness.
Even getting the range creep denied with the Vortex there too. I mean, he has...
Have we seen much of a beat down here, this TI in the mid lane on the first couple of minutes?
No. I mean, that is just insane. Of course it gets better as levels go on for the Ember Spirit, but it's never this bad, no.
That's... Well, if that's how he's starting this game, I mean, as you said, we saw what he did last time.
Yeah.
Last game.
He's even stacking his small cap as well. Like, he's being super big. He's going to send the high 5 toward Ori. GPK is absolutely feeling himself.
He doesn't go back for the high 5. He might miss that as well. Missing everything else in this mid lane so far. It's not easy for Ori.
And bottom, 72 on the Luna. Tidehunter, we are still seeing 11 get some really solid farm. This dump will connect. He should still be fine. But what a start for VP. Top, also getting the kill. Lane setup's working perfectly for VP.
This is wild. Bottom lane. Who will manage to take down Kingslayer here? Old 11 and DY. Now they've got the Ring of Health on Old 11. He's going to be feeling a little bit beefier.
Not slowing down the Luna, though. Luna's still free farming. TB is getting slowed down. And as we mentioned, they do have a lot of these heroes that are anti-carries, as we always like to call them. The Underlord and that ET into the Terrorblade, and also the Bane. Something with people we also have to factor in, which will be something that I think will be more noticeable than usual because it's a 4-position Bane. I want to say that Save is going to get points of Enfeeble, and you're going to notice it versus Terrorblade because it's a very strong ability that I feel like most people overlook. It's a 45% attack reduction, so later stages we'll see it because it's a 4-position, so he's going to definitely have more items and more ways to be able to actually play around that rather than just sleep and ults.
Yeah, if Ori's able to recover this game, you've got to remember the position he's in now. If he's able to pick it up from this is going to be quite the turnaround.
They're setting up for him.
First Remnant will be out of range. Might not matter though, he's able to dodge the second one with the Sleight of Fist, and Remnant, so the Fire Shield is up, so blocking a fair bit of aggression here for the two of them. DY will TP over.
He might just die himself.
I think he might. Oh, he's able to get the barrel.
He dodged the damage.
Okay, DY. Taking down GPK here with Ori. Can they get Save as well? He'll die to a neutral, but still big move from DY. Ori needed that so badly in the mid lane. DY coming in clutch to help pick Ori's game back up.
He dodged the remnant damage too. It was very close to him perhaps going down, but gets that Jingu built up, dodges the damage, gets the boundless perfectly. Does leave Old 11 alone bottom to get chased off from the Lumen and ET, but had to come in.
Absolutely.
Has to help Ori just because of how disastrous mid is going, but he might have to help everything because if you look at top also, Poyoyo is 21-4. It's 29-11 on the Underlord too. These lane setups, as we mentioned, top tier from VP already.
See mid. Regression again from GPK, but this time look how many heroes they have coming mid.
Double rotation.
They are done with GPK. They want him out of this lane. The boys coming in big time here to back up Ori. DY and PYW making sure they pick up their mid game.
But since 11's left bottom again, instant move by VP to capitalize on top of that. So it ends up coming up, I mean, pretty even all in all. Sure, they take out GPK, but it's something necessary, and they will lose side lane because of it. Rune, though, is standing secured, which is pretty big. Because of that kill, does allow the Ember to also get a regen rune.
We'll see where sort of the supports of Vici Gaming look to put their attention now. Now they've taken down GPK the 2 times in the mid lane. That is, that's a significant sort of allowance for Ori to catch back up. That distance now between the 2 mids, it's pretty much non-existent. You see on the net worth, pretty much even.
Yeah.
So mid, it's been recovered. Vici Gaming, they've sorted that area out. Now they've got to see how they can go back and compensate for sort of the time they were left away from these off lanes and leaving their cores on their own.
Absolutely.
And DY back down here now to make sure that Old 11 is not under threat from the 2 of them again.
Yeah, it's cool that he's gone for the 2-0-2 build. We were in the beginning seeing everybody getting Tree Dance level 1, so you can secure range creep and all that, but because, like you mentioned, he was versus like that short-range Luna and also versus the ET, he just wanted to be able to trade these hits. So obviously you can understand his skill build there. Holding the creep wave for Old 11, and I mean, Old 11 really needs it. He's level 4 tied, so I think DY has to keep his attention down here for some time.
With this sort of lineup for Vici Gaming, this Underlord, Luna, do you expect things to ramp up pretty quickly at a certain point?
Just because the Underlord's having a good game, such a good game, yeah, I can see them just looking to play around him to get those early towers out. But I don't think that Vici's going to stray too far away from the fights. They're going to look to fight us for a lot this game. Terrorblade's going to be farming on the sides, and this Ember's going to have to be super active since Ori is fully recovered completely. And that's why they picked the Ember in this game, is so that he can be that super active hero, because he has to be versus both the Luna as well as that Storm once he starts getting points and chains, because he is the catch for that Storm in the mid game. Should be a pretty action-packed one, Owen.
This game's going to blow wide open, you know it. Once the 6s start to come online.
Nightfall is camping the Remnant bottom, trying to make sure that he gets a rune, but Haste Rune will spawn top. Ori gets the secondary power rune of the game.
Have to be a little bit careful with that haste in his bottle. Definitely the potential to make some big hits on the side lanes if VP start to get aggressive close to the towers of Vici.
And he's got the max slight build with phase boots with the Blightstone, so he's gonna hurt.
It really does.
No chains though, but the constant poke could still catch heroes out. Nice sleep, but gets woken up.
He's going to try and chase on a little bit, but as you say, without the control on himself, won't be able to set up onto GPK. GPK, a little short on the initial zip. Still going to play on the high ground here with the haste rune. Ori, he's looking to chase down the support. Looking for save, but DM lays down the pit. Ori, he'll stop to dig up a south. GPK's going to look to jump in back over to PYW. He's still got a fair bit of mana to play with GPK. He wants to try and chase down the Snapfire. Has he got enough in the tank to take down PYW? He does.
He does.
GPK gets the kill. Back over to the side, save. Momentarily holding Ori in position with the Nightmare. And they won't have anything back up to root him in position, so Ori breaks away.
Great play from Save there. Just the Nightmare coming into play. Maxing it first, of course, as we see. And they will fill up the bottle. So mid, GPK gets his bottle filled. Did not fill up Ori's. He will have a bounty rune to work with, but space built for both of these carries. We see Luna all the way up at the top. Poyoyo even popping meta just to farm jungle camps. Not even for an Ancient. It's just a single stacked hard camp, and he pops meta. Just has to try to catch up somehow.
Lovely stacks here for Ori. Get himself back on track for a good amount of time in this game. They've got him in the river. Poyoyo stepping over with the meta. Will be held back by the stop. Massive kick circle looking to get his way out of this at all. GPK has managed to jump over the back. Let's get on top of Poyoyo. A cookie to the side, but there's no further help. Poyoyo to fall.
Not worth it for Poyoyo at all. Just wants to get a kill and get out, but GPK, again, just being this ruthless killer as we saw him in the last game too. Constantly making moves around the map.
Absolutely, he made Poyoyo's game last game too pretty miserable.
Yep.
He's going to be looking to do the exact same this time round, and already the signs of that beginning.
Don't think we'll see Poyoyo's face for quite some time anymore. I think he's just going to look to just hit the jungle for the next few moments, and he has to. He's already 900 behind the Luna. Luna, once you get it, if Luna gets an advantage at the beginning, then she's going to outfarm that Terror Blade. With a Mask of Madness already finished up, level 9, max Glaives. It's only level 7 on Poyoyo. He doesn't have the mobility, he doesn't have the same levels at all to be able to get that farm going.
Trying to dive in and find DY here behind the tower. TP not going to be coming in.
He is being so aggressive on this Storm Spirit.
DY has to be very cautious if he shows, but sticking to the trees, he won't be jumping down anytime soon. This tower will have to be let slowly gone. On 11. Trying to see if we can find Save behind the tower here. Won't be the case. Save will not be receiving any backup here either by the looks of it. As Vici Gaming should be able to get the tier 1 tower trade.
Still hanging around for a moment, but yeah, this tower definitely gonna go down. Now starting to get some more points in the chains. We see Ori's got 1 point in it. He also finds his own fairy trinket, as we did see GPK having that. VP getting more farm out of the map, though. We even see DM walking into enemy jungle, just starts firestorming. He's very tanky, has the
GPK.
Vanguard finished up already, and GPK is just hunting.
And he's tempted to dive. He's still sort of eyeing up this area, knowing that if DY comes anywhere away from the tower, he could go for it.
Just gonna cut the wave.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
DM he's tanking up big time, getting the rod next after the Vanguard, so they have that further setup against the Ember.
It's such a good game for it. He needs to be that answer. That's why they went for that last pick Underlord. He needs to be the answer versus that Ember Spirit, so I really like if he does commit for that build.
11 looks
Jumping
to
for
step over the
DM.
side. He has got the Ravage at the ready if he wants to pop it. DM, he's going to look to try and rift out
He's
of there.
tanky.
The damage for the kisses is not going to be enough. He is out and away.
That is fun too. The Dark Rift into Pig Pole, so you run a little bit faster away from them so they can't connect with all those kisses. Great play. Immediately back to the mid lane, and he's just going to stall this mid tower as long as possible so Vici can't push it.
Yeah. Straight back to hold and
just allows Nightfall to have absolute free farm in the triangle.
yeah, straight for that BKB next after the Mask and the Dragon Lance, showing his willingness to get involved in fights as soon as possible.
I actually really do like that. Versus these, it's just become more and more valuable because all these Dragonlance heroes, you can just disassemble into the BKB and you're playing versus Tidehunter.
Get the quick catch on Kingslayer.
He's a little too fast. They're going to have to commit a Remnant.
There's no running here from Ori at this stage.
I've never heard that one before.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Level 12 on the Luna. Level 9 on Poyoyo. Struggling to catch back up. Does have his Yasha, so will have that increased farm pace, but just the levels from the Luna, as we said, he's going to accelerate that much further. And the pressure that VP is putting on the map is just a little bit more than Vici is. And they just can't push mid. I mean, DM is just tanky enough to just sit in mid, continuously firestorm. But on the other side too, VP's not pushing mid either. Still looking to set up for kills around the map. Save.
I mean, Nightfall momentarily showing himself up top, but indeed the attention seeming to be down bottom. Save. Going to put a stop to this old 11. Not quite able to get close enough to lean in. Save. He's going to go for the TP out, but they'll find him. Boundless strike down through the trees. DY catches the bang.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And the Rune also spawns bottom for Ori. GPK getting quite unfortunate there with his luck. Just was waiting for top Rune. Just, again, it spawns on the opposite side of him. And it's a very good one for Ori, of course. It's a regen Rune when he's completely out of mana.
The rune of regeneration.
11 starting to feel pretty strong with his hood, 1600 HP, almost has Blink Dagger. I feel like this game's going to start exploding in action very soon as that Blink does come out, and as soon as the Atos comes out on DM, it's just going to look to be more plays around the map.
It's just
right now, it's just a bit more farm since the Luna and TB want to hit that timing.
Yeah, so important that Nightfall has the BKB for when that jump Ravage comes in.
He's close. He's only 1,000 away if he disassembles.
I mean, the question is if Vici Gaming are going to be able to make a fight happen before it's there. If they could jump in with the Ravage, they come in with a full Remnant Burst, Kisses from a distance. Luna's life definitely still in jeopardy.
Absolutely. They're looking to get active. GPK smoked up around this rune as well, around nighttime. DY breaks it and gets the bounty and jumps away. Nice move from DY.
Making that space and wasting their time here. Taking attention away from Poyoyo as much as he can.
Look at PYW, a little sneaky devil here. He gets the ward down from earlier, still hiding inside the tree lines. DM forcing bottom in.
Just a recipe away from the Atos.
Look at PYW though, cuts the creep wave from where DM is. And TP's toward the mid lane so he can keep himself on the map.
And Vici Gaming, they want to try and set up for this top tower, see if they force a response and get VP to fight into this Blink Ravage. It doesn't look like VP's going to fall for that. Nightfall staying on the opposite half of the map. Say just being incredibly cautious until he does have the BKB complete. Some TPs from VP starting to come in.
DM's here. The
Fiend's setup, the grip from the trees, they need help, but they need it now.
They used the Boundless for the wave.
He already did DY, he's got nothing else to throw out to help him.
Excellent positioning there from Save, but DY has to hold the Boundless for these situations. Huge pick. 20 seconds now where they can swing across the map. See what GPK looks to find with it. Walking behind towers.
Ooh, I mean, PYW was a bit low.
He's committing.
He's going to get aggressive on a DY. He's got to be careful, GPK. We'll back off to the side there. I think pretty important that Safe did get that Nightmare off. I think Odd 11 would have looked for a Blink Ravage if he could have. As GPK was pretty much entirely out of mana. So good hold back there from Safe.
Very aggressive from GPK when he has like pretty limited resources. Still looking to be active. And there's the Atos finished up. Nightfall has bought some time for himself too, that he's like, you know what, I'm not going to disassemble because no fight really kicked off, nothing was being forced. I can stall out the BKB a little bit longer. And he's going to have a really good fight timing with BKB and Dragonlance.
For sure.
Better than Poyoyo is, because Poyoyo, he's still shy of that BKB.
It's not too far though.
Not too far.
I'll be able to push it until he can get that.
But Ori's game is going to be difficult. His Atos is finished, and he only has a Maelstrom. So if they just get the initiation onto this Ember Spirit in almost every fight, he's just going to die from the Chain Stun.
They're looking at DM top. I don't think they're killing this man. Just a simple rift out underneath them, and he's away. They cannot burst through the HP of this Underlord right now.
He has 2,200 HP. And now Kisses are down. She's a pretty big tool right now for Vici to take these team fights around the Ravage. That's one of their biggest damaging tools at the moment. So VP should be able to fight back. They don't have to wait for any of these big cooldowns is the thing for their lineup too. Just Atos, a root. If they see Ember Spirit, it's a kill. Next few moments, VP looking to claim a bit of a more aggressive stance. Walking into the enemy triangle. DM doesn't have backup, but you can see, of course, the pit into the Atos, how strong it can be versus the Ember.
What?
And behind.
They make the dive. GPK goes in straight away on a PYW, the Nightmare comes out, but the Ravage will come after catching GPK. This time, Odd 11 able to punish him for the dive. Grip,
Ori.
finds the Ember Spirit. Ori, he needs help, but he's not going to get it. Nightfall pushing back the rest of Vici Gaming here as the Eclipse comes out. Vici Gaming have to step to the side. Poyoyo and DY now looking to turn up. The Boundless Strike goes crashing down on the two. The King set looking to turn up with the stop. Holds back both of them, but he won't be able to stop Odd 11, or maybe with the help of DM they can. The pit is enough. Odd 11 can't continue to chase. They lose the two of the VP, they'll get the rest of them out of there.
Whose neutral item was that? Did they steal it? I think they did, right? There was a Pupil's Gift that dropped on the ground. I believe that VP stole it from Vici during that go. I see an Underlord with a Pupil's Gift that was nobody's. So I think they actually did steal the neutral item from them.
See again at the start of this fight, GPK really wanting to get a kill before everything happened. Very close to sort of making a cool dodge with the Nightmare, but the Ravage coming in after. No escape for GPK. I mean, with the way that the fight started, it did look a bit rough for VP, but able to redeem it a little bit by getting that trade on Ori.
As we mentioned though, Vici, a lot more cooldown reliant. Ravage is down, Meta's down, VP have to look to take advantage of that. Fiend Script was used, but they don't need that to be able to set up for any of these kills, so definitely want to look to see them hit hard right now with those being on cooldown.
And here we go, smoke time from VP.
Definitely want to still try to claim that mid tower. 200 HP, gonna open up the map for them.
Save.
They're gonna walk right into PYW.
GPK, he's been here before, he'll go here again. Behind the tier 1, spots PYW, Snapfire. No hesitancy at all.
I kind of want to see VP keep going. Ravage is on cooldown, Meta is on cooldown. You know how weak this Ember Spirit is at the moment. Keep looking for kills.
Yeah.
You got a big window right now.
You catch Ori in a pit and a rod, he will die. Eclipse is back up in less than 20 seconds.
Poyoyo, very likely that you won't get the kill on him because he has the BKB done now, but they have time to be able to go in the Roche with a beautiful DD outside the pit.
Did get
very
scanned out.
ideal timing. Gets scanned, but it's with the fresh picked up Crystallis, it's dying fast.
And BKB's ready to go ahead for Nightfall. So maybe they can look for a steal, but if they do so, they're going to lose lives for it.
10 on Ravage. It's going to die before Ravage is up.
They're a little careful. VP, they're backing off a little bit. Nightfall will continue to go. The kisses are coming in, but Nightfall's got the kill. He's got the Aegis. Over to the side, GPK looking to start things on to 11. They're going to dive in. They've got the grip. They've got the grip. They've managed to hold in place this tower. And Poyo now back off. The Ravage comes out, but Old 11 just getting destroyed by the damage of GPK. Nightfall. As Old 11 actually able to make it away, only just a slither of HP. Old 11 actually somehow manages to get out of there. But DY goes down, and VP, they got what they were going for. Roshan killed, Aegis on Nightfall.
It's a huge fight. Ravage was used as well, so now they have a 2-minute window where, again, they can look to continue to make plays with this Aegis. Sure, meta's up, so they just have to watch out for when Poyoyo shows up in the fight, but this is a big window right now for VP to get a lot of space on the map, a lot done, and Nightfall's already got the pretty much two of the bigger items that you ideally want versus this Terror Blade. He's got his Shard done, and he's got the small crit. So now he can start using the beams from a distance, spamming them to hit that Terror Blade in the back lines, and then he's going to go for that next big item, which is the biggest one, of course, for his TB, which is that Eye of Scotty on Luna. It says less than 1K, but it's starting to feel like a pretty comfortable position for VP. They will lose save, though.
They're not stand a chance there. Immediately Poyo popping the meta. Maybe expecting a little bit more than just the Bane to turn up, but it was just save. The rest of Vici game, they've got a couple of them smoked to see if they can take advantage of VP whilst they're a little separate from one another. DM, the only one down here right now. They want to try and dive in onto him. It could be a bit of a tricky kill. They're going to try it. See if they've got the damage here underneath the tier 2. Looking for DM. He's going to try for the rift out, but they have enough damage. Now Nightfall, he's trying to turn up. Can he kill him here? He'll look for the Monkey King, but now with the Sunder, Nightfall's HP brought incredibly low. They'll burst him the once.
And his BKB's down.
Oh, he's going to need help.
They got cookies.
I don't know if he's going to be able to get a GPK since one. Trying to bail out. It's Luna here. Turns the roof down right there. Taking out Poyo. The grab back on the P1W, but they've lost Nightfall. GPK still with man in the play room as he goes over towards or he zips over towards PYW. PYW cannot escape this as he gets brain sapped out of the game. Old 11 blinking back in the Madman to kill off Kingslayer. He's tanking. He knows GPK's low on mana, but Crit is back up. The Bane with the brain sap. Nice. They've still got 1k HP here.
Still should be able to do it. They even have, they have a Fiend's Grip. They don't want to use it.
No,
they have a Brain Sap. They should be able to get it.
He's got Hood back up in 10 seconds.
Let's see.
Old 11's tanky.
They're going to use it. Okay.
Yeah,
I was going to say, he's just going to go for it. And they got him. Made them work for it a bit there, but...
Sure, but all in all, that's quite a lot of... No, they do manage to dive in. They get Nightfall. They're able to get DM, of course, as well before he rifts out, but losing a fair few heroes off the back of that dive.
I think DM also played it, I think he should, if he had rifted earlier, he also didn't use Essence Ring, is another thing pointing out. He used his spells first instead of using the Rift first. If perhaps he rifts, then drops the pit, then drops everything else, maybe he has a little bit more of a window because of that Crimson block, but either way, I don't think VP's too fussed about that one. Sure, they lose the Luna, but GPK starts to get some big cleanup kills for himself.
Did we see here? GPK, just a fantastic fight. The BKB was only just picked up right before that fight, so...
Yeah.
Not turning up at a perfect time. And that decision as well, Poyo, he was able to potentially have TP'd out, but deciding to cancel it, to stick around with the team, cost him his lives and some of the others around him there. They did have the opportunity to back out of that after that initial dive, but they decided to stick around and it did hurt them, Vici.
Every single one of those deaths will add up too. He's 2,500 gold behind the Luna, so this timing of the Eye of Scotty is going to be there a little bit faster there for Nightfall. Ori does have a BKB of his own now, so doesn't have to worry so much about that pit. Most of the disable actually is going to be handled because of that, besides the Fiend's Grip. Still very close game, but definitely feeling that power for Nightfall. Just being that much farmed, that much more farmed than the TV. Almost level 20 as well on him. And yeah, Scotty timing on both of these cores is going to be massive.
Oh, GPK is going to look for the jump and straight away to get the grab onto Ori. Ori's gone! Immediate reaction there for GPK, zipping straight over. As soon as they fall for the main, they've got the grab.
What a grab, look at the distance.
This feed script from a mile off.
It's really, in that area, in these type of small little clusters too, versus ET, where he's got the Spirit down, he gets the Splitter pretty much down on everybody too. They're able to just fully clean up as well with the clips. That is a big fight for VP. Right after the Luna's already ahead by 2.5k, getting cleanup kills. Now he's going to be he's going to be a full item ahead now, actually. He's going to go for Butterfly instead of going for that Scotty. So he's just going to be more survivable versus just the Terrorblade, which I think he's starting to notice. I think only TV is going to be my issue in this game.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
What can Payo do? Things falling apart a little bit around him.
Sure is. Ori just keeps getting destroyed.
He's had a tough game. It's not been a fun one for Ori. Straight from the laning stage, fully focusing him. GPK.
He didn't even get his BKB off in the last fight. He just got incinerated from all the damage. Save. It's a bit tanky on this
Bane. Got a bit of
Bane.
backup. I'm going to get him away from the slight combo from Ori. He's fine. He'll live for now, and there it is. Butterfly done on Nightfall.
That's a timing.
Straight up with the smoke. They're ready to go with the move straight into the high ground.
Right
GPK just leads in. He's ready to go. Straight on a PYW. The setup route is caught. The other Ori has to put the BKB in back off.
Oh. Great play from DM there from the low ground.
They're going to look towards DM now again. GPK puts the BKB. He's on the DY.
They're on Ori.
Grab back. He's got the grab. Ori's just gone. DY as well.
Poyoyo.
Poyoyo, he's only got Old 11 by his side. Old 11 does have a Ravage available. He's going to get a pit for now. The grip, even using the Ravage, comes out of the 5 of them. But do they have the damage to turn this around? Old 11 trying to go for save with the stick of the brace strap. Keeps him alive. Save, still going DY. They've got the tree. GPK zips over, finds DY hiding in the trees. Everybody dead on Vici Gaming.
A beautiful, picture perfect, right, really, fight from VP. My goodness, from the start of it to the end, catching Ori in the beginning, forcing his BKB, then he can't really do much inside of the fight, and then the patience from the Bane, holding that Fiend's Grip, waiting for the BKB from Poyoyo as soon as he turns up. This Luna is a menace now, too. Look at this farm.
Look at, GPK, he's doing it again.
Time.
He's doing it again this game. We saw it last game in sort of his play style. This one, once again, just absolutely fearless, diving in, starting the action off, and in these little moments where it looks like maybe some of Vici Gaming's cores are going to get to play the game, they just don't. The grab on the Ember without the BKB, there's no chance for Ori. And at this point, it's just too late for any sort of turnaround. Old 11 is able to hit the majority of them with the Ravage, but it doesn't matter at this stage.
It's just so good for VP when they're able to start the fights like that, because then they just preemptively pop the BKBs, they focus fire targets, and Old 11's just watching from the sidelines like, I have no option, guys. I cannot go to try to go for a Ravage here. VP coming out way ahead now, picking up a Bloodstone right before the fight too for the Storm, up to 19 charges, level 21, level 23 on the Luna. And like we said, he was 2,500 gold ahead just a few moments ago. Now he's 7,000 gold ahead of the Terrorblade. Things have spiraled completely out of control for Vici. They've got a Scotty timing now on Poyoyo, but he can't even hit the Luna. There's a Butterfly they're always getting initiated onto, and on top of a Butterfly, there's going to be a Satanic done in a second.
Oh my goodness, level 23, this is... Old 11.
And the Satanic timing also with these Lunas, when you have this shard build, it's so hard to kill them. Because then they're attacking, they pop a beam. It's like all this healing that comes in from the beam as well as their attack.
Oh, he's just dead outside the base.
Every time.
GPK's going for that. He's not letting him step back up from this. Godlike on the Storm here.
You can tell he's pretty mad about that first game with his Razor. having a
that's
very
true.
clean series since then.
I mean, it's quite a difference in the hero you are. I feel sometimes you see these sort of players like GPK, you put them on something like a Razor, it feels like you're limiting their potential. You get them on these mobile heroes, the Pucks, the Storm Spirits, and they are just completely owning the game.
He's just super confident, right? The way he's starting the fights over and over and over again. I feel like Vici hasn't had a situation where they've started the fight ever in this game. Into Roche they go.
Yep. This will be a freebie for them.
Yep.
Vici Gaming not making it out of the base, especially whilst Old 11's down.
And they've already got the covers as well, as we always talk about. The panel was saying the TB versus the Luna. DM, I love his item build. Crimson Guard into Atos, into Lotus Orb, so he can Lotus Orb Nightfall to protect him from Reflection and versus any type of Sunder plays. And Vici, this feels like it might be like a last-ditch effort for them.
Oh.
The jump?
Oh, he got the shard.
He gets the shard. Okay.
All right, he got something. He got something. There's a shard.
Better than nothing. Did he get the last hit too? Nah, it was close though. Next few fights though feel like they're gonna be some 4D chest that has to come out from Vici in order to have any chance.
I am 98%.
Yeah. They don't have the MKB even on the Terabyte, so he cannot ever stand toe-to-toe.
Oh, Ravage will put a stop to that Fiend's Grip.
But he's still alive. The Bane is fine.
I mean, Ori's going to at least live. He's able to get out of there. You see GPK go straight for the backlines on top of PYW. Beam comes in with the sidelines and Nightfall lays down the Lucid Beam. Old 11 trying to run down Save, but Save's
He's still alive.
He can't even kill the Bane. And Save just walks away. VP in with the backup. Another trade here where VP just getting the kills. Vici Gaming not able to find anything in return. The money for the Axe done here for Save. And
the 4th position Bane is working. Nice ball.
He's going to try to start the defense, but DY.
It's too much heals.
It's too much damage. As DY's gone, jump forward for GPK. Poyo will turn the BKB and the Meta trying to hold. They're looking to beat into GPK. GPK is slow on the Meta, silenced up. See if they can get any of the kills here. Nightfall looking towards Old 11. Sunder gets it back up to full HP. Poyo, a slide comes in onto Nightfall. But
they're
Nightfall
on Poyo.
still alive. He's looking back over on Poyo. Poyo to fall. Out of the game. No buyback on the Terrorblade. They'll lose Nightfall the once, but he's ready to come back with that Aegis. 3 dead on Vici Gaming. No buybacks to be had. The big one there being Poyo, short of the money. As this reacts, it's all VPs. Tier 2s on all the other lanes already dealt with. They could very easily look for more here, VP.
They have so much time. Ravage was used earlier before that fight even kicked off. TB Meta was used. This game is in the books, it feels like now for VP. Fiend's Grip back up. We get to maybe witness an Axe Fiend's Grip for the first time on TI.
Some fantastic control so far from Save. So many of these fights where they've tried to go on him, but nightmares, brain stabs, Fiend's Grips, it just doesn't do anything rapid. He's gone in deep. He has put himself back with the Lotus into the change. PYW, he'll still die though. The grip is there onto Ori. Save having the reach to take him down. So buyback comes out from PYW, starts to rain down the kisses to back VP off, but VP they'll more than happily swing up to the top lane. Look to finish up that final set of racks. Get these mega creeps out. There's 50 seconds, no Ori.
And Vici has to just watch. They don't even have meta. So there's literally nothing they can do to defend this. It's just gonna have to be them, fighting versus mega creeps. And
they're gonna try.
They most definitely cannot do so, but they're gonna try to make a play.
They've got the Ravage. What can they do here? Jump forward, they get the Ravage, they're gonna look to try and blow up Nightfall. Everybody on top of the Luna. Can they kill him? Sometimes brought in with a Nightmare, allows him to put the BKB. He's turning, he's ready to heal back up. Brings down DY. GG is called. Virtus.pro will take this game 3. The series ends theirs as they'll knock down Vici Gaming.
What a performance by the cores on VP in these last 2 games. The itemization on point. I love DM in this game. Going for his Crimson Guard, going for his Atos, going for Lotus Orb. Picture perfect stuff. GPK initiating every single fight. I actually do not remember. I think I remember one fight where Vici was the ones initiating a fight. VP, a masterclass this time around of how to counteract the Tidehunter with those BKB timings.
Absolutely, and it's this sort of performance that we know that Virtus.pro, they can do time and time again online. You hear about, you see the power of this team in those online situations. Now, here on the main stage, TI, they've come out game 2, game 3, and they've shown us some pretty terrifying Dota 2, both times. I mean, this game very much more of a team effort, just across the board.
For sure.
Everybody popping off. Very hard to really point someone out again, but you maybe do just have to say GPK once more. These playmaking heroes. He just single-handedly destroyed Vici Gaming. It felt at the start of every fight, GPK's target prioritization, it was just perfect. He could not have
100%.
played any of these fights any better than he did here.
100% agreed. Top-tier performance from him and his team.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Virtus.pro with a very, very impressive couple of games to close that series up. They'll take this one 2-1 against Vici Gaming.
Well, there we go. Virtus.pro's coach's reaction as they win that game. And what an exciting series. What an exciting game specifically that was. And we can talk about Vici in a second, but I want to concentrate first on the winners, on Virtus.pro. Lizard, I saw you were a bit excited. What did they do right?
Nah, I'm just so happy for them. Like, this is such a big victory for such a young team.
The youngest team at TI.
The youngest team at TI means so much for them. I'm not going to talk about the prize that they've just got for themselves if they don't manage to go further. But man, this is... Whew. What a game. GPK proving why he is rank 1, proving why every single team in the Eastern Europe was fighting for this boy just a couple of years ago. And on that mid lane, PYW and DY, they had a lot of work to do. It wasn't a one-on-one.
They had to fix it. They really had to fix the lane. I mean, from the start, GPK just completely dominated Ori. He was sitting at almost like a full 1,000 net worth ahead of him, and then the supports needed to come. They killed him 2 times. It only made GPK more angry in this one because he completely popped off. Managed to die after those 2 deaths, died only once, ended up with the 15 kills, which is pretty impressive. I think we also got to give credit to DM on his Underlord performance, going for the right items, dying only once against this type of a lineup, which means that you need to get close, going for the Crimson Guard to mitigate the damage coming out from the TB, the Rod of Aethas to keep the Ember Spirit in the pit for a longer duration, and also Lotus Orb. This is something that just completely shuts down. Like, his itemization was mostly, I do not want TB to have a good game.
Gods, you want to jump in? Well, you can to this VP bandwagon.
I mean, it's just crazy. The youngest team at TI getting top 6 at their first ever international. It's not like there is a couple of young players being, mentored and carried by experienced veterans. It's just 19, 20, 21-year-olds, and here they are, top 6. And they bounce back from that 1-game deficit. I think that was the questions with VP, is like, can they bounce back? Do they have the mental game? Both majors, they did kind of poorly. And here, they kind of, shrugged off those demons.
And it's 100% them that showed mental fortitude in this best of 3. Vici Gaming, they faltered a little bit. Those last couple of 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, looked very rough. They had a couple of questionable team fights.
Okay.
One hero after another running in.
What, can you elaborate a bit? What team fight really stood out to you for Vici Gaming?
It was the bottom one that started everything off, wasn't it?
When he canceled the TP out?
Yeah, when he cancels the TP, and at first it looks good, and I could see the idea behind it because Snap, he was priming up the stun on the Ember Spirit, but he misses it. It's a split second. It's literally nothing. You miss that stun, the whole team fight goes wrong. And after that, Tidehunter, I thought that they would be relaxed because Tidehunter was just playing with them in the jungle for a couple of minutes. You could feel like... And then they just kept on dying one by one. Every single fight that happened afterwards.
Yeah, they felt like they kept forcing it too much. Like, they're like, okay, we're kind of behind. We have to go fight and do something. But that's not how Vici Gaming win games. That's not their strength. So
it wasn't composed, right?
After what happened at that bottom lane that Lizard just mentioned, I feel like they were tilted. This is not the Vici Gaming. Usually they are the ones who make the right decisions when it comes to the mid and late game, especially the late game, and they just crumbled.
Do you feel like it might be actually due to their experience that actually helped them crumble this time? Like, they're so used to being that team that never gives up, that team that always has the consistency, and all of a sudden we see uncharacteristic mistakes and nerves just get the better of them?
I mean, it's TI, so sometimes you just, say go, your carry cancels a TP and probably screams go, and you're like, all right, we're staying, which results in pretty much the whole team getting wiped.
And while they are the more the experienced team, they're not like huge TI veterans. Like,
that's true.
Vici Gaming are still a relatively newer team for most of their players when it comes to playing at TI. So, you look at Ori, who's been on this Vici team a while. He's had a top 6, he did a top 8, but, he's never
We can say that
far.
that internationally they can be considered veterans, but not at the international, right?
Yeah.
What do you think their coach is going to be telling them right now as they're preparing themselves for the lower brackets?
I feel there has to be something said about their draft as well. I think the Tidehunter in the game, in the last game, was really answered well by Virtus.pro, and that overall Virtus.pro's draft had a little bit of an edge. It wasn't only the gameplay, so maybe that's something that they can fix coming into the next series. But overall, just forget about it. Refresh. It's just another game. Just
forget about
it.
Forget
about it. It's
easier said than done.
Easier said, but you have to keep that PMA. You have to have good vibes. That's what helps you in at TI. You can't let yourself get overwhelmed by emotions.
Well, we're going to be looking at the other side because I'm actually curious what Virtus.pro has to say. And we have Siraction Slacks here with their offlaner DM to give us some inside information about this young and successful team.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, DM. A pleasure to have you. You know, first game at TI main stage, first time on that. What was it like? Did it live up to your expectations?
To be honest, in this series, we expected to play well. We did some. We changed a bit the draft and the understanding of the draft because some things went a bit rough for us in the first game. But then we even changed it for further game because like every single game we play, you're trying to improve, and they're getting mistakes fixed by every game. So. I think third game we played the most signature draft of our team. Yeah. So it was just a pleasure to play it.
Absolutely. I mean, it felt like you guys were really comfortable, and that kind of seems like the air of your team in general, right?
To be honest, with this kind of draft, especially in third, we had like full chill zone.
Nice.
Like, well, obviously, you're glad when you're winning a good team and getting into top 5 TI, but the thing is, you're playing was really chilled.
And it seems like you guys, when you play, it's like friends, right? Is that a way that you guys recovered from that game one? Because game one was pretty rough. What was that like?
I think in game one, we had some kind of misplays, which led us into ways of playing map we don't want to, like unfortunately. It's just, I can call it a bit maybe some pressure. Yeah. And then game two we recovered, and also we did more pleasurable draft for us. But game three we did the best draft that is possible, I think. Like, couldn't imagine even best. Yeah. So it's a shout out to our coach. He did an amazing job.
Absolutely. All right, so you guys are inexperienced, but I don't mean that in a negative way. I feel like you look at the game a lot differently than everyone else. Do you think that that's an advantage against very established teams, or is it kind of hard to, keep up with all these different strats?
To be honest, for me, our current play style is really good because what I see from many games on TI, it's like one guy is farming their part of the map, getting some random pickoffs, and then the second team is doing the same, and then one team has tied, and the other team has Doom. And they're like, let's play the game at minute 45 in one single team fight, and then it will decide who will get rush and do a victory in the game. But I think playing game for getting a team fight at minute 45, where you can always fuck up with buttons, it's kinda not the way you want to play Dota. So I'm glad the way we play it. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we got to witness it. It's always good to see some new kids on the block, some Zoomers owning some Boomers. That's what we're all about here in video games, and that's what this team is. So thank you so much, my friend. It was a pleasure to watch, and we'll throw it right back to you.